Hey everyone, Coach Steve here. Another part of our my technical videos here. I'm just going to kind of explain what I see and go over a little bit of what I like to see or what what players do good jobs at here. So first off, this is U.S. versus China women's team. We're going to be running a long rally here. It's going to be a transition plays. First play is off the slide. So we have a good pass off the slide. Transition high ball. Great dig, another transition high ball for a kill point. So that's the original play. I'm going to break it down now for you in individual parts here. So we have our first pass. So off the serve receive pass, a couple things are happening here that I see. I see one, the passer passing and getting it into their approach and getting into approach and having three options in the same kind of tempo. So perfect pass, great options, all three hitters are coming at the same speed. Now for the blocking timing, I see the middle blockers with their hands up pretty well and the outside blocker helping with the middle pretty well, and this blocker all the way committed, just kind of committing to her one-on-one player. So that way all the blockers have their assignments, they've picked up what they need to do very quickly, and they're tracking each one of their players. The middle has to be hold here because, one, the setter is front row, and she's jump setting, so she could dump, and two, they run a pretty effective pipe with this opposite lefty here. So the middle has to hold on this position. Now, you can see the tempo of the outside hitter for China already in the same kind of footwork cadence as that middle attacker doing the slide. You can see both her and the middle are both moving at the same speed. So she's tracking and watching her hitter the whole time. So she's really focused on the middle now. The middle holds for China. She's holding for this pipe or for this setter dump. So she's really waiting, and then she's going to just react either direction, either to the left or to the right, if the set goes deep. But her first options are to track the setter and the middle block and the pipe hitter. The set goes back into a pretty fast tempo. You can see it's probably a 0.8, not even 0.8, probably 0.7, 0.6 seconds, kind of a flick back. Slide, not really even a high slide, just a very fast slick back slide. And you can see a couple things happening here. One, the middle blocker for China just has to take a really drastic, non-giving up, just kind of putting her hands over. Two, the outside hitter for China has really gone big here. She's making sure that the hitter does not go line or does not go over the top of her. I think she's going a little bit too high, to be honest. I mean, she's blocking with her hands way over where that slide hitter is actually hitting. So she's going a little bit too high, you can see here. Her hands are up here and the ball is crossing at a pretty lower level over here. In fact, this middle blocker does a great job of getting in the seam and timing the ball. So she times the tempo of the hit, she knows the rhythm of the hit, and she gets a great touch with her right hand. And her hands aren't overlapping together. They're nice and pressed. They still make these two nice, equal distant, hands open part, and she actually hits it right onto that right arm right there. So she makes a good move, coming in, stopping. I think this pin blocker made it move too late here. So she's there when she hit it. She should be there when she hits it. So this should be the picture when she's hitting it like this, not there. So she's reaching and late. There should be more there when she hits the ball. Middle blocker makes a good touch. Let's look at the defensive plays. Everybody, you can notice, is in a nice height. They're kind of standing, but then they all drop. You can see everybody person. Watch 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. All these players, you can see are all, once the ball's hit, they all stop. They're all boom. So every single player at this level especially is stopping when the ball's being hit. Everything goes up, boom. All players stopped, aggressive out, hands out, ready to play. Easy touch, great play, high ball in the middle. This middle has to really get back on her horse here, trying to get back to the middle because now this setter can set all options because she's got a great touch. So the middle blocker now is a little bit out of sorts. Runs back, she's late, she sees this 3. Her first priority is the 3. The middle's priority is the middle. That's why she stops right in front of her. Second priority is this outside hitter who is their best attacker. So she waits there for her. Setter goes up, sets it pretty far inside actually. So she gets back to her middle in transition. The set actually lands pretty far inside. I like how this hitter drives through the ball and goes up. There's no, you can do some off-speed high flat, but she's not bearing it low flat. She goes high inside, she goes around the block. Very fast, hard hit. US makes a great dig. So the ball's inside, she's going all with all her energy and she's hitting it pretty hard angle, going with the energy. You can see the libero, everyone's covering pretty well too here. Look at this player right here, it's getting really low. Look at these 2 players for China covering. I don't think your hands should be on the ground necessarily like this. I think they should be out more, open, with your palms up, facing. I don't know what she's really doing touching the ground, but you can see that they're low. A little bit out of place, but they're low. The block kind of gets caught up a little bit. They don't track it super well. Hitter's hitting a pretty high, hard ball. So they are taking away a nice, solid space here. So you're really taking away a solid ball. If it hits any of them, if it hits them, it's going to be blocked. It's not coming back if she hits low. So if she tries to go for a low shot, it's not coming back. Good footwork here. I think the arms are too close together too early. Too close too early, so you don't want to necessarily do that, but she makes a very good reaction quickly. So she ends up in the right spot. She ends up with her arms way outside of her body. You can see this spacing here. She ends up with her arms way outside of her body there. And so she does play the ball at the end perfectly here. So you can see this kind of nice long table out in front. She doesn't let the ball get behind her. She's playing this ball out, way out in front of her. She's not letting the ball get by her. The second she gets the ball in this area, she's done. So she cuts off the ball before it gets to her outside shoulder. This is really nice. Really nice high ball. This player, outside hitter, instantly transitions back. Setter jump sets again. Middle is tracking. Outside hitter's releasing. You can see her kind of reading this middle blocker, kind of reading the play. Her foot is automatically starting to go on the set. She's read it pretty well. She's kind of choreographed it. She's ready to go. Outside hitter's gone on her nice drive step here. Getting into her step close. Right down the line. Couple things about this approach here, this hit. One, also the set. This blocker for China has made up her mind of what's going to happen too quickly. I think she's misread it. She's made up her mind too quickly. She's only stopped over and then she's stopped. She's not really watching the hitter because you can see the set's clearly too far outside and she's giving her a garage of 3 to 4 feet. So the outside hitter has not really done a good job of locating the ball and knowing where it's going to be at. So she just kind of hop steps here and doesn't. She's watching the ball too much. She's watching the ball too much and she's not looking at her hitter. So she takes two, you can even see in her eyes right here. You can see her eyes right now. They're up, they're up, they're up, they're still at the ball. They're still at the ball. They're still not looking, and she's already jumping. So how can she even determine where the hitter is going to be? She hasn't locked on her hitter yet. And her head's down now. And she's left 4 feet. And then she makes even, if you give up more line also, you don't want to make an inside move with your hands to give her more line. You see this more line move that she's giving right here? She's giving more line right there. This is adding another 3 feet of space in this. So this blocker does a couple really huge mistakes. Doesn't look at her hitter, stops too short, and then gives up way too much line and makes it worse by making another move inside when the ball's being hit inside. This this right back defender has to come off the line because there's so much line. She literally has to come off the line because this person's given her 8 feet of space almost hitting down the line. So I like this approach hit. She's got a great arm load up. I'm not going to really talk about mechanics of hitting so much. I'm just talking about strategies of hitting in these videos. Technical, mechanical videos are going to be different, but she has a nice, high, flat body shot. The set kind of pushes her a little bit too far out, and you can see that she doesn't fly forward. She has to go up vertical. You can see where she jumps and where she lands is pretty similar. She's kind of falling backwards a little bit. But the strategic part in this is that she didn't get a great connection on the set where she'd get to really drive it and hit it, but she did hit a great angle shot. So that ball is going to land on this deep line here. So she went for a very nice selective shot. High line shot. Not low, not down, very high line with a lot of speed. So she still stayed tall. The set wasn't necessarily her perfect set that she wanted, but she stayed tall, drove the ball really fast, blew up the setter overhand. A lot of players, especially in the women's game, also don't dig overhand so much as well. So any kind of ball that you kind of can get in their face area and deep corners is more of an advantage for you. So that's another reason to hit high corners. This defender does a pretty good job only if it was up higher. You can really grab that ball. The rules allow for the first contact to really be doubled extremely. So you can just get that ball vertical. She makes a good play, but it's straight ahead and there's no play being able to made. So it's a great transition hit. She hits a high, flat, deep corner after a long rally, never giving up on the play, making it smart. The main thing you can take away from all these plays is mostly that these players stay with good court and IQ awareness the entire rally. So here's the last play one more time. Touch off the block. Great dig, transition again. Shot for a point. All right, so thank you very much. Hope you guys enjoyed. Talk to you later.